Right, hello, welcome to this exciting episode as we are in the new CT25 CCT 25 plate Irizar i6 efficient. So first of all, let's get out the garage and we'll do a drive and explain what I'm doing in a moment. So let's just concentrate with this in a minute. So there's the first thing you've probably seen is there's no mirrors because it's CCTV cameras. It's the mirrorless version. Concentrate here a minute. New vehicle, get used to these camera systems. Garage. Right, we'll get going in a minute. Once I've set everything up, get my coat off and that, and we shall head off. Right, let's go. So, we've only had this about a week since it's had its delivery, and then the day afterwards I had its inspection here. Good thorough check over. We do for our own peace of mind. And I'm not going to lie, this is not a very first drive video at all. I took this out yesterday just on a little spin just to try and get used to these new camera systems. So it's only up to Trowbridge and back, but today it's inaugural run. This is its very first day out on a booked job. And I have the privilege, which I'm very honoured to be, the first driver to take this out on a job. So very exciting. It is London, however, so no pressures there. Try to not hit everything. And as you know from at least 2 videos I've done of London, parking will be fun. So hopefully there's a place where I can actually drop them off and quickly set up the gear. I will put, where's he going? He's going in there. Is there any room for him? Yes, there we are. I will put my phone holder thing behind me on the rear left there, the bulkhead, and we'll drive around London. It's a bit fortunate that it's going to be wet today, so the poor girl's going to get a bit mucky. Bit of a shame. So my first view of taking this out, as I say, it's not been all day, it's just been a half-hour run up to Trowbridge and back, is it's very different and very nice, but you know, still a lot of things to get used to, such as this electronic parking brake. There's no handbrake lever. These cameras, as I say, with these guidelines on it. So the red line is, well, we think roughly in front of the rear wheel arch somewhere. I think it's, you know, before the middle door, but in front of the rear wheel. The orange line is roughly the middle of the rear axle, so that's supposed to guide you as a pivot point. And the green line is the rear, so that's supposed to tell you when you're clear of your swing. Having a drive around a town, you know, taking junctions and going around roundabouts and that, you know, really, I've never really used the lines. Maybe it's a guide, I don't know. I was trying to think, you know, you don't really have time to figure out all the lines and where you're on the road. I've managed to drive this, you know, just using the positions of the road that I'm used to before anyway. So like here, I'm not really using lines. I'm actually just looking down the side of the coach there and working out in my head where the pivot point is anyway. I'll probably find those useful at some point. The other thing, let's turn this anti-crash detection thing off, because to be honest, I don't know how sensitive it is of these things. Some of the Irizars we have with the ABS are extremely sensitive to just about any object that you're quite a distance away from. And then there'll be bings now and again. Quite figured out what that is yet. I think it's the lane departure system. A lot of things to learn about this brand new coach. A lot of new gizmos in it. So when we're parked up later on, we'll have a little look around inside. I'm sure you'd like to see the interior and cab area and all that. It's interesting to know what it's like on the motorway. Apparently the noise reduction of the wind noise is lower because you don't have the mirror arms creating a drag, creating a wind funnel around by the door and the, you know, the front here as well. So with those gone, apparently it's quite quiet wind sound wise. We shall see. So I won't be filming the motorway bit because I'll have the group on at that point. Here. And very nice gearbox. This is the ZF1, first Irizar we've had with the push buttons. So this is not the AS-tronic, so as you can see I can release here and it doesn't lag. I can put just a bit of acceleration here and it's still very punchy. And another thing you might have noticed is there's cameras everywhere. We shall have a good look at those when we're parked up. I'm not going to, you know, aim the camera and point out things while I'm trying to drive, but you can probably see things as we're going along. You probably notice somewhere on your left there, top one is looking down on the door. You've got obviously your left and side, two different ones. One's a bit wider than the other. Just find a gap on this roundabout. It's going to be entertaining. It's a busy morning. Is he going straight on? He's going straight on. Perfect. And on the speedo, it does read the signs, and then it does flash for some reason. Not sure if it's flashing because I'm speeding or I'm not. You can see 37 mile an hour in a 50. Isn't exactly speeding, but okay. You've got one here that's looking at the front. So that would be for any, as you can see it on there, it's showing the white line. I physically, looking forward now, can't see that white line. So that's going to be the blind front spot for any, you know, pedestrians or cyclists that's in front that you can't see. So that's a good idea, especially in cities and stuff. I can press this down button and it will look behind as well. And I think after a certain while that would trip out to be the front one. Colleagues coming back off of schools. So we're leaving London at about 7:15 this evening. So of course the other interesting thing is seeing what these camera systems are like in the dark. Now there is a button here. I'm not going to look at it in a minute, obviously I'm driving. I shall show you that later on though, when we're parked up in London. There's a mirror with the S icon on it, and that's sort of changes the modes. Now I think, well, it must do it automatically, because when we came out the garage earlier it was in the night mode, and then as soon as it come out it came into day mode. So it does have two modes. The other one for night makes it sort of a sepia like effect, because I assume the way that these cameras are now at night time, they're going to be stupidly bright. So I'd assume they're supposed to, you know, not make it very bright, make it easier to drive along without being glared at. Whether these will be bright later on, I don't know. Soon find out. So that blind up there on the left, if you put that down, that starts to overlap the cameras over there. Again, it's something, if I remember, I'll show you, but myself, I very rarely use blinds, to be honest. I might have it twice, maybe passengers have asked for blinds to be down. But again, most vehicles, even with mirrors, you put the blind down and you can't see the mirrors anywhere. I think I've used an example once in something. Mine's the same. If I put the left blind down, you start obscuring the mirrors over there. So I've always got sunglasses on or something if I can't see. So I very rarely use blinds, to be honest. Just personal preference. And below the left mirror, I know there's like two there, the bigger one, the lower one, below that there's a little black box about that size, I think, and it's got an orange light in it. So the idea is there's a camera, well, a sensor down on the bottom corner, and that's supposed to pick up things in your blind spot, pedestrians, cyclists and all that. But because of that, obviously it will pick up anything. I noticed driving around Trowbridge, you just go straight or around one of the traffic light roundabouts, it will pick up the traffic lights, posts, anything, any street furniture that's there on the left. And apparently if you get too close, or if it spots something that's too close, it will set an alarm off as well, and flashes red, I believe. So I can't show you the pickup location naturally, but I do have to reverse off the road through a gate, through some pillars, so this will be an interesting, what's a challenge. I mean, I've done it before in the normal Irizars. The advantage is going through the pillars is, of course, there is no mirrors, so usually you have to get the mirrors very close to both the pillars to go through. Something like a Turismo or something like the Temza, it's slightly easier because the mirrors are tucked in a bit more, but of course these have no mirrors, so it should be easier to go in respect in that sense. But of course it's reversing doing it for the first time in something like this, but there is cameras everywhere. So this is the advantage. I've got angles in all sorts of positions, so hopefully I shall make it in alright. Personally though, having that little drive about is, when you're sitting at first, you can't quite get your head around, am I going to get used to something like this? Driving around that town then actually surprisingly felt comfortable. Didn't feel unease, you know, feeling awkward with not seeing glass mirrors anywhere. A bit of a techno person myself. I quite like the idea of these, you know, new systems and all this sort of thing. Underneath there is brackets for emergency mirrors though, so there is glass mirrors in here for the basis of anything that goes wrong with these. You have a backup. Have I heard of anyone having to use these? I'm not sure. It might have happened once, I do not know personally. It's usually these things that go about that say, oh, mirrorless cameras, you know, they're going to fail on day one and unreliable and all these sort of things. But you know, buses, there's a lot of buses now that are mirrorless. And there's been a few vehicles being converted to mirrorless. They seem to drive around day in, day out fine. Mirrorless trucks seems to be a common thing now. I've gone down the motorway and seen a lot of camera mirrorless trucks running around. I'll flip the wipers on in a minute. Let's get this junction out of the way first. So it's got a switch here, but it's not a setting. You don't move it into notches, you just flick it up and then it sets it into auto. And then to the right of that there's what looks like a sensor control, so you can have it sensitive or, you know, not very sensitive at all. Try and show you that later on properly. But, something, take note Temser, that's what we need in the Temser, sensitivity switch. Sensitivity up, just sensitivity, sorry, up a couple of notches. Right, so in a minute I'm going to pull into bus stop lay-by that's coming up shortly, and we shall pause this first section, and then the next scene in theory should be somewhere in London, whether it be a drive-through or whether when I'm parked up. We shall see. Right, let's pull in here. Up, neutral. Right, there we go. Right, okay, we shall leave it here. I shall plod on a few miles to the pickup point, and hopefully I shall see you somewhere in London. Okay. Right, so I've quickly set up the camera up there. Probably an angle, looks like it's an angle from here, but sorry about that. So, dropped off, and now it's doing the good old hunt around London for somewhere to park. It is 1 o'clock at the moment. So it's had a very good run in, although it usually is. If you do a run in about midday, you can do, you know, the average M4 to anywhere around the central in 50 minutes to an hour. Can't remember if I mentioned before, I've done M4 to Victoria in a half hour before. That's my record. I'm never going to beat that, I don't think. That was a similar run, about midday-ish, something like that. So, come around Trafalgar at the moment. It's been a very, very nice drive, this has, I must say. The visibility is excellent for London work like this. Those left 3 mirrors, it's surprising so much traffic lights to watch the cyclists come past on the inside. I was watching it from the bottom to the top mirror, and you did not lose sight of it once. From the back to still quite some way in front of the coach, and it was always visible. You know, yeah, very good for blind spot work. Same with the right hand side here as well. These two mirrors on my right, very good. Right, I'll move on for a minute. So I haven't quite gauged what lines are doing on the side. Again, I'm just using what I can see on the side of the coach to how I'm doing. Using obstacles or not. So gets, you know, something getting used to. Maybe it's something that's worth. It's probably more useful when you're parking up. Maybe, I don't know. But still, adaptive cruise, as I've said, comes on by itself. You don't need to activate it. Same with the cruise control. I just press this set button and it's already on. It's already armed anyway. In the Temzo, you've got to arm it first, and then you might have to set the adaptive cruise. Sometimes it comes on anyway, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends which mood it's in. So I'm still thinking in my head, thought I had another route in mind. Can't remember where it was. Right, here we are. I think you can go straight up, turn right, and they're going that way, but here. Track then. Where the collision is. Just picked some up on the side. Might have picked up that bin, I think. Yeah, that's what I can do. Just remember, I've got an hour and a bit of driving time left. Not stationary time, obviously that's not ticking over, but moving at 1 mile an hour would count. Now I see it's picked a red, so I had a red light there on my pillar, so I imagine it's picking up pedestrians on the side or something. Around, you realise there's actually too many cameras to look at. speed, apparent speed limit down here is 80 according to this. I'm sure that police would be quite happy if I went sailing down at 80 mile an hour. Not that this would do 80 anyway, obviously. I think we'll just ignore that. I know it's going to be 20 around here. Promising, is it, for parking, to be honest. Slowly. Sticking out a little bit, and that's all right. Back a bit more. And I'm going to say we are in for now. Whew. Can tidy that up. If things stop moving or something. But there we are. That'll do. Right, I'm going to have a bit of a break in a minute. I might even go to McDonald's now before we do our little look around the coach. Yeah, because I'm getting a bit hungry. So yes. So I shall see you in a bit. Right, so here we are, interior. Very nice, comfortable seats. So with fair amount of leg room for me compared to that 70 to 60 seater we're sat in, if you remember. But as I said, that wasn't for adults. This one is definitely like so nice leg room, very comfortable. Seats also go recline as well. Similar interior to our 17 plate Irizar in terms of these seat moquettes and style, like these and these, but of course you've got this e-leather type, oops sorry, there we are, e-leather type trim around, which looks very nice. And like 17 you get, oh actually no, that's different, sorry, my apologies. The Irizar embedded in. CT25 might have that, I can't remember. So there's your buttons down there. The simple table. Does look nice though. I like how they come back and they stop like the earlier ones. These plastic, you put them down and they go bang against the back. It's got a very quieter feel to them. Obviously they're still new, very stiff. There's the servery. I assume this means ready and not ready. I don't know yet. Hasn't got any water for this. I've only done the water for the tanks for the toilet. Not going to be using the servery. The toilet, obviously it's much bigger than the Thameser. My headroom up there and in here. It's the same size as the other Irizars anyway, except this is a new feature, which seems to have 2 toilet bowl holders. Usually there's one in the other ones, and there's this thing, if you can see it, I think it's some sort of air freshener. Beeps now and again. Don't know what that means, leave it to it. So yes, 57 seater, again same size as our CT17. Right, so as you can see the cameras, here's the layouts, which these two pretty much the same systems as the Thameser, I believe, and the standard Hispacold system, which has been in the other marks of Irizars for a long time. See the mileage there, 541k up to now at the moment. That includes delivery mileage, of course. I think it came from Spain to somewhere northeast, if I remember rightly, somewhere. I think it might come on a boat off the port, or whether it came from the south going up north and then back south again. I do not know. Here's the dash. As you can see that there? 80, oops, press something. Yeah, as you can see, it says apparently the speed limit here is 80 miles an hour. I keep pressing something on the dash. Oh, is it this? Ah, let's see. Found the menu. Average 11 mpg. That's pretty good. I think the other ones used to be about 8, I think. Press that through to, there we go. Right, that comes back. There we are. So, speedo, miles an hour. kmh isn't digital, see it's this grey reading here. This doesn't go green as I expected. I thought this would be the adaptive cruise. Can I do? No, I'm going to do it here. Adaptive cruise comes up in these. There's some icons here. Can't really see it. This is the bit where pedestrian cars will come up. images of cars will come up about here, and then you move up and down this track. You can see roughly where it is. When it gets to about here, it seems to, well, actually about here, when you're in traffic, obviously the car will come to about this first line here, and it will obviously get upset and start beeping, which is fine. I can live with that. This is oh yeah, I've got these. This is that button I mean. I wonder if I can shoot that now. If I press this S button in a minute, you'll see the camera change. I'll take it off. It comes back off, see? So that was on this, so this is manual. No, yeah, this is manual mount, sorry. This is the one that came up on the way to Cowan earlier. You can see the blinds, the door one doesn't do it, it's just the side ones. So that was in manual. Auto. No, manual. Now it's in auto. Little diagnostics and settings thing here, not going to touch that. Rear camera there. Automatic is completely different to what I'm used to. There's no rotary switch, it's just these on the sensor there. There's some off, auto, side lights, main lights, and obviously fog fence and rears. The high beam thing is done through this. Press it once for flash, pull it upwards properly for main beam. This is that switch I was on about with the wipers. So that sets it auto, that does 1. I'll flick it down again to set 0. And obviously the sensor switch for the automatic. So you see, you don't flick it up, you just flick, flick, flick. It doesn't, it's not notched, if you know what I mean. So screen, oh yeah, and the rear screen there. You see inside, rear, and then the two sides looking down there. Very nice cab layout. Thing there as well. And there's the parking brake thing. As I say, it's not the air operated one where you have the handle here. It's just push to release and pull upwards to apply. So that's completely new for me. Yeah, blind. So you can see if I put that there and then pull this one down, it's pushed to go down. Expect to pull it, but there we are. So you can just about see the door one, and then the side. Yeah, no. You can see the bottom one, alright. But the main one, you can get half of, no, it wouldn't be driving around London with that down like that. There we are. Standard size fridge. See it to be used. And the 6 bars there. Very nice. So there we are. There's a little tour of our i6s. So we'll be going back to pick them up soon. So maybe we'll do a POV drive out of here. You can see the rain's got to the windows. And some of the peak coaches are coming out now. So it's Central Travel. There's an electric coach over there. I don't think we're going to have any of those anytime soon, but before we do, it'll be run out of juice. But that's a commuter one anyway, so that's alright to run an electric. Do a couple of trips a day, charge it in between, I suspect. But yes, so hopefully we'll do a POV drive, or I'll have the camera up here, like, you know, in this view here somewhere, something like that. We'll see if we get on. Needs another battery in a minute. So I think that's everything covered. So see you in a minute. Right, let's try and get get out. There's the Spanish coach behind, which is mood for us. I can put that on backwards still, keep an eye on him. There we are. Up to this car, just minding these posts on the left. Tight. Good thing is I don't have a mirror arm to worry about hitting this coach. Lovely, I think. There we are. Bike there, weaving in. So thank you. I'm not going to crash. Coach is still on high alert for traffic. Right, back to Haymarket. It's supposed to be at 7. I've mistimed that a little bit. And zigzag, chicane even. Right. Left, straddle both lanes a bit. This road's clear anyway, so that's all right. Nice few hours parked up there. We'll have the interesting drive in a bit, going down the motorway in the dark. I've got to do that reverse into that place again tonight, so it'd be interesting seeing what it's like visibility wise driving in the dark. It's on auto. I don't think they've actually come on, have they? Here because I'm not sure. That, yeah. Just in the left because we're going straight on. Happy days. Right. Coaches seem to remember that it's 20 now, not 80. Oh yeah, I was going to put these lights onto main, do it manually. Oh, and the night lights come on. Night mirrors, sorry, night mirrors have come alive. For now. Being that it's, you know, mirror key, I'd rather have the lights on, although the seems the auto system thinks I don't need it. Put them on just for that extra I say visibility, makes me visible a bit more. Myself in case that bus goes, which she is. She'll hang here. Brake on. See the cyclist on the left? So he's in all those views there in the camera. And this one here, look. Work bike. No, his bike, sorry. like that. No blind spot at all. Brilliant. Which one there? Middle, front camera, and then top one. To the right, because I think we need this lane. The motorbike on the right. So the other thing you probably noticed, that orange light there, which I was talking about earlier, the orange indicator, that's that blind spot warning. Notice there's not one this side. We can only presume it's because you've got this window here, and you've got this mirror bottom one here, if you can see it, that goes to just beyond this cab window. So from there, this would essentially, I think you'd have a manual vision for anything down in your blind spot. Now apparently the Levante 3A's mirrorless ones actually have the sensors both sides, irrelevant. But what the cab is like in the Levante 3, I don't know. Obviously our Levante 2 is a bit higher up, it's a smaller window. Not sure the 3A's what the window size is like, whether it's small. Would you need that? Would you be able to look out the window anyway if you drive your 3A? Do let me know. Why I stay in the outside lane all the way around, because then it aims me for the A4. Of which the road name evades me. Jump the red, mate. Oh, it is 2 lanes per mile, I think. Because, oh yeah, it does some weird shuffle over. This is always a difficult one because it's move about and there's a lot going on. look for the traffic lights, look for the traffic. There's a lot going on there in that short space of time. So we'll end this video in a moment. Right, yes, I think we shall end it here. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, this new one. Hope you like the new coach, and hopefully we'll have an episode with this coach again at some point, either an episode like this or coach driving diaries, something like that. But yes, certainly a coach I do like, so it's going to take some getting used to. But as always, like and subscribe for more of these types of videos, and you can follow me on the Facebook page. Hold on a minute, let's get concentration going here. Yes, follow me on the Facebook to see other trips that I do. I put pictures on for stuff that I don't do a video for. And until then, I shall see you on whatever the next episode shall be. So, thank you very much, take care, and a very goodbye.